Welcome back, friends. Thanks for sticking with us. If you're just joining us, we're having a conversation today about developing healthy habits in kids. We just talked about childhood obesity, and now we're talking about a solution, putting the right things on a child's plate. Back with me is Dr. Anthony Hudson. He's a pediatrician with Manning Family Children's. And you know, Dr. Hudson, we were talking about this during the commercial break because something that happened to me when I was growing up was we would go to the doctor and the doctor would tell us about this condition I had on the back of my neck. It was a little bit of a darker color, right? And the doctor was like, oh, this may be an indicator of childhood obesity or diabetes. Explain that a little bit more to parents because I feel like that is still something happening in kids today.
Yeah, if you know what to look for, there are a few physical signs of obesity. You're specifically talking to acanthosis. This is a condition where the pancreas is secreting more insulin that is necessary, and it's driving the skin, the cells in your skin that give us pigment, to grow. And then you'll see in these areas such as the neck, the underarm, the groin, you'll see a darker velvety appearance. You know, oftentimes parents will fuss and say, oh, you need to hop in the shower and wash that off. That does not rinse off. That's something that's related to your overall health.
I remember it. My grandmother used to say, oh, just wash behind your neck a little bit more, it'll be gone. And it did not go away. So it was an indicator when I was growing up. And luckily my mom was like, okay, we're going to make the changes. And ta-da, look at us now. We're alive and we're thriving. But one thing my mom also did was make sure we had the right food on our plate. I want to talk about that now. There's really a formula that you all like to tell all the different parents out there when it comes to what to put on the plate. What is that formula?
Sure. So I think there's a few ways of looking at this. I think from my perspective, the best way to look at this is actually historically.
Okay.
I think humans, for all of our development, have generally eaten certain things. And so when I try to educate families of varying backgrounds, I try to frame this historically. You know, try to imagine what our ancestors or our great-great-grandparents could have eaten. And I think if the answer is, you know, my great-grandmother could have eaten this food, then I think that's actually a healthy food to go to. You know, immediately that eliminates some things. I think cereal, something that's often thought of as perhaps a healthy alternative, I would not feed that to your children. And again, it really doesn't hold up to that test that I propose. You know, could my great-great-grandparents have eaten cereal? The answer is no, and I don't think we should either.
It's so important. And when it comes to looking at the plate, you know, we hear a lot of words like protein, fruits and vegetables, whole grains. We have that formula for you all. Take a look. So it should be half your plate, colorful fruits and vegetables. 1/4 should be a lean protein like chicken or fish, and then 1/4 should be a whole grain. Think a pasta, think a rice. And of course, there are substitutions you can make. Go for the brown rice, go for the whole grain pasta. But one of the biggest things that we need to be thinking about, I didn't know this, the drinks. The drinks is what's getting our kids. Talk about that, doctor.
So drinks are the first thing you should change. You know, if when I'm seeing a patient and we're working on their weight and their growth, it's always the first recommendation to make. We should drink only water. And again, I think this holds up to what I said initially. What did we drink for all of our existence as a species? Water. It's just now that we're drinking a variety of different things, whether it's soda, milk, etc. I think really the thing you need 99% of the time is just water.
But when it comes to milk though, asterisk, right? Milk.
Fair enough. I find it strange that we're the only animal on this planet that drinks the milk of another animal. I don't think necessarily humans need milk after infancy. There are some downsides to drinking excessive amounts of milk, specifically iron deficiency anemia can be associated with drinking greater than 30 ounces of milk a day. I think milk is a treat. It's great in your coffee. Ice cream is fantastic at a birthday party. But when it comes to the day-to-day, you should only drink water.
It's good to know, so make sure you know, do your research on that, because obviously we're all built differently, right? And of course, our lactose intolerant people, we see y'all out there. We understand your pain. Now, you just mentioned birthdays. You just mentioned ice cream. Let's talk about that, okay? Because look, my child's going to make the honor roll. My child's going to have a fantastic birthday. They're going to deserve a treat, right? What is your mantra on that, on when to give them that piece of cake, that good cookie, that bag of gummy bears that they're going to eat in one sitting like I will?
So in our day-to-day lives, we are trying to lead by example. We're at home, shopping with our children, preparing healthy foods, showing them what we should eat to grow up and be healthy as an adult. But we also need to recognize that this world is full of pitfalls, and to completely ignore the existence of birthday cake would not be the correct thing to do. There is a time and place for everything. I like the idea of going to the movie theater and ordering popcorn,
with all the butter,
having an icy, really having a great time, going to the neighbor's birthday party, eating the cookie cake, of course. But these situations are isolated. We're not going to birthday parties 7 days a week. So really trying to separate the day-to-day, going to school, coming home, going to baseball practice, what are we going to eat for dinner? But also these exceptions where we're having a good time and we're getting together, we're at the crawfish boil, we're at the birthday party. We should eat those foods. We should have those times to indulge.
I agree, but are we talking about once a week here, or are we talking about literally just on those special occasions?
I really think it should be limited to those special occasions, 2 to 3 times a month, if I had to give a specific number, that is.
You're hearing it from a pediatrician, everybody. Practice what you preach. If you're eating the sweet foods, they're going to eat the sweet foods as well. And by the way, take the kids to the grocery store with you so they can learn about healthy shopping habits as well, because it all starts at the grocery store. Look, doctor, thank you again for being here. Look, everybody, he's not going anywhere. We all know about GLP-1s, right? Well, guess what? He's talking about what GLP-1s do to children a little bit later. But first, if you're looking for something healthy to eat, we're heading into the kitchen to learn about some fabulous kitchen classes. And if you want more information about all the things happening at Manning Children's, head over to manningchildrens.org. We'll be right back.